y'all. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. Just wanted to come through and talk about the Dusty Pivot. What is the Dusty Pivot, you may ask? The Dusty Pivot is a change, a quick and very um, there's a big contrast between like the change of like philosophies or reasoning or like lines of thought, and it's all of a sudden, and it's like it's a complete 180 from the direction that it was going. um One example of the Dusty Pivot is when there are dusty degenerate males talking about traditional women and how they want a traditional woman and women are ruined and all of this, and just got the tiny violins and living in fantasy world about these like traditional women that never existed. And then when you talk about, okay, well, then I'll stay at home and watch the kids, and you need to get another job, and you need to take care of the kids, or you need to pay all these bills, and then they make a pivot quickly. Well, no, what do you bring to the table? No, you need to go half on these bills. And so that is the Dusty Pivot. Whatever, the Dusty Pivot is meant to keep you confused and in embroiled in arguments and meaningless, aimless, meandering debates that end up nowhere. Um, you know, Dusty pivots happen within one-on-one relationships as well, um, where, maybe they're doing wrong, maybe they're, out there cheating or doing something like that. And then they make the Dusty pivot to start talking about, well, what are you doing? I don't know, I don't really trust you. And, kind of like reflecting it on you. It's very important to recognize this Dusty pivot and just disengage. Um, because your energy is their lifeblood. It's like the reason why they wake up in the morning is to irritate you. Okay, the reason why they live is to irritate you and to annoy you and to badger you and harass you and stalk you and bait you into endless, mindless, meandering debates and arguments that lead absolutely nowhere. I see it all the time. And I almost have no urge to respond. Um, Almost none. Sometimes I'll think about saying something and then I'm like, you know what? No. No, I'm just gonna let that be and let this comment be an example of exactly why we really don't deal with you. So I'll just leave it right there, and I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna engage. Because why? It doesn't make a difference. Please don't let anybody raise your blood pressure and raise your pulse and get you upset because they have nothing better to do but then to irritate you. It's like irritating you is their it's like a sport. It's like a pastime that they wake up and they're like, oh, I'm gonna get online and irritate Black women today. I'm gonna go and stalk their pages and go wherever they congregate, and I'm gonna insert myself and I'm gonna irritate the shit out of them, and I'm gonna get them to respond. I'm gonna ruin somebody's day today. They wake up in the morning with the mission to try to ruin some Black woman's day. But you have to allow them, and you have to participate, and you have to give them permission to irritate you and ruin your day and raise your blood pressure and get your attention. The thing about your attention, Black women, and what I have tried to convey for the past couple years is that your attention is extremely valuable. Advertisers know it. The industry knows it. Everybody knows that Black women's attention is extremely valuable. More valuable probably than any other demographic on the planet. Where our attention goes, pretty much can make or break anything. And so since your attention is so valuable, even if you give negative attention, even if you call yourself, cursing out a Dusty or, telling him where uh, he can shove it or schooling him and educating him on the history of life, writing these whole dissertations, angrily typing in all caps and stuff like that. It doesn't matter even if it's negative, it's still your attention, which is very valuable. So hold on to your attention, put it somewhere else. If you need to be, sometimes they do say stuff that's very annoying. But I would say take what you want to say and put it on your own platform, whatever that is. Put it in your own, put it in a way that's going to enrich you. Put it in a way that's going to be of benefit to the people that are connected to you. You know what I mean? Respond without responding, kind of like, allude to things, but you don't have to like blatantly call people out and take attention to their pages and stuff like that. And give them the attention that they're crying and desperately begging for. By all means, because it's just like they just get worse and worse until you respond. I always leave them. I get these, sometimes I get these like unsolicited messages like on Facebook or on Instagram or something. I don't even, and it's like a message request. I don't even open it. You know what I mean? Like I can see it, but I don't even like click on allow, so and so person to write me and then I can like respond to them. I just leave them on unread. And there was one struggle bandit, but when I first started my channel, I mean, he stalked me for like months, probably like damn near a year. I never responded. Never. Just sending me all these links and trying to get me to come on his show and stuff like that. Like, I don't go on dusty. I don't listen. In real life, I don't go to dusty environments with struggle bandits. And I'm not going to do it online either. I'm not doing it online and I'm not doing it in real, um, or how you do it. But I am not about to have a conversation with you about anything because we are two different people. We are two philosophically, morally, culturally different people. I'm on something totally different. Okay? I'm on a whole different plane. And so we don't even have any common ground to speak about anything. We're two philosophically in two different dimensions. So it doesn't make sense. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I'm back, y'all. But yeah, just two philosophically different. But yeah, I just wanted to just point out this dusty pivot so that way you can kind of know when they're doing that or when anyone is doing that. And just like, just let it be. I guess just understand the purpose of the dusty pivot. The purpose of the dusty pivot is to avoid accountability. It is to avoid accountability. So it's like every time they get cornered into anything, it's just like, we'll just pivot and just change directions, right? So, on one hand, the reason why the community is destroyed is because Black women are in charge and Black women are ruining the children, they're ruining the boys, they're raising criminals. they're just terrible, horrible, no good, very bad women. And then you say, okay, well, then black women are in charge and black women are the leaders. And then it's like, oh, no, dusty pivot. Actually, no, the black men are the ones who we're the leaders. So you should submit to us. So that's the dusty pivot. And it's like, yeah, the reason why he ran away is because black women are horrible partners and they're terrible and they run off all these good men and there's just all these good men everywhere and the black women just don't want them. They want the thugs and the whatever. And then you're like, okay, well, all right, then, well, then black men are abandoning their children. Oh, no, 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 dusty pivot. Black men are the most involved in the world, actually. We're the most active fathers. We don't leave our kids. It's like you'll never be able to corner a slippery snake like that because they'll always slither out of accountability no matter what. It's always going to be this dusty pivot to a different point every single time. So just let it be, let it be, let it be. It is what it is. Just know what it is and know what's happening. The pivot is happening to avoid accountability. In other words, there's really no substance or commitment to any one thing. I think probably the only thing that could unanimously be agreed upon on that end is that like they all agree to like portray black women in a poor light and like subjugate them. Um, I think that's probably unanimous. Like that's the overarching energy. But as far as like the real substance of the talking points, there really isn't any because any time like they'll never stand into any one talk. They'll never stand into any one philosophy because if it would lead to accountability in one end, it would just pivot to something else. So the purpose is not to be logical and the purpose is not to be productive. The purpose is not to find common ground. The purpose is not to um, have mutually shared understandings. The purpose is not reconciliation. The purpose is not community. The purpose is not fellowship. So seeking any of that is futile. The purpose is avoiding accountability and remaining the status quo. The chaos that is keeping that going, keeping that chaos going. That is the purpose. And so in order to maintain the status quo and to avoid accountability, just continue to pivot, just continue to pivot. Just change it up and pivot to a new thing. Move the goal post, change the goal. Although I would say there really aren't any. Like there really aren't any. Yeah. I can't think of any overarching goals. I really can't. None productive. Yeah. I can't think of anything that's productive. Yeah, so ultimately, you don't need consensus or cooperation from somebody else to um do what you know is right and to take care of yourself and to surround yourself in a healthy environment. You don't have to have consensus about that. You can just make a unanimous decision yourself. You are autonomous and you could just make the decision to do it today or tomorrow, whenever else you want, and then just stay in that because you don't, I mean, the only person that you owe anything to is yourself. Recognize ye the dusty pivot before and don't even worry about it. Okay, I'm about to come back online. I'm about to do a different video on a different topic. So stay tuned. Um, If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. And all right, y'all. I'm gonna come back with a different topic. Peace and love.